Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. I'm so glad you could attend. That is right, we are kicking things off. It is January, it is a new year, it is 2025, and that means it is time to head back to the Nintendo Switch eShop. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay, welcome to Square Pegs. I do this video once a month. I take a look at 10 fantastic eShop games that everyone should have in their collection, and we are kicking things off with a classic game from a fantastic series, ported to the Nintendo Switch for the first time.
I love the Serious Sam franchise. It was a staple for me on PC. And I didn't actually realize that this collection was on the Switch until I found it during an eShop sale back in December. And I'm so happy I picked it up because it plays beautifully well. This contains both Serious Sam 1, Serious Sam 2, and Serious Sam 3. So you get all three classic Serious Sam FPS boomer shooters, and they play perfectly well on the Nintendo Switch. The games are over the top. They are pure 1980s action fest, just intensified, and it's magnificent. Sam Stone is such a great video game character. He does something a little bit different than other protagonists we've seen in FPSs, where he's not as dark and mean as Doom Guy, and he's not just kind of as irreverent and goofy as Duke Nukem. He's his own character, and the gameplay just lives up to it. It's spectacular. It's a $29.99 game, 3 games for $30. Can't go wrong with that. I've been excited about Mika and the Witch's Mountain for a while, and I want to say thank you to the publisher for the review code for this game. It's gone live now, like, on every platform, and I've wanted to play this on the Switch since I first heard about it. One of my favorite movies of all time, as far as an animated film goes, is Kiki's Delivery Service by Miyazaki, and I know a lot of people are kind of firmly more in, like, the Howl's Moving Castle or Princess Mononoke camp, but for me, Kiki was such a just wholesome, genuine, lovely film. And Mika in the Witch's Mountain gave me those vibes when I first saw footage of it. And playing it, yeah, this is a love letter to Kiki's Delivery Service. You play as Mika. You are a witch who is kind of trying to work your way to becoming a full-fledged witch. You're a witch in training, a wit. And your job is to deliver packages to the different people on this island. And it's wholesome and sweet and kind and just genuine. And I love that this game exists. I love that this game exists in today's gaming space. It's such a fantastic title. It's $19.99. There's a demo available too, so if you want to try it out before you buy it, definitely suggest that. Love it though. Absolutely wonderful game. You're going to see a lot of folks kind of wax on about Byteland Overclocked, that it's a alternative to Astrobot. And it is to a degree, but I think comparing it to Astrobot is unfair because Astrobot is kind of in its own unique class of excellence, and Byteland Overclocked is its own game. It does its own thing. There's some similarities there for sure. Like you're both little robots, you're both inside of a computer, but that's really where it ends, aside from the fact that they're both 3D platformers. Byteland Overclocked is telling its own story. It's standing on its own 2 feet, and it's doing its own thing with a wonderful sense of humor and a great narration from the different characters in the game that really make it a little bit more engaging in that regard, as far as comparing it to Astrobot, whereas Astrobot relies on gestures and kind of just sound effects. You get actual voiceover and things like that in Body. The gameplay is fantastic. It is a 3D platformer that does a lot of things incredibly well. Now, there's some rough around the edges parts. You're going to see some kind of ugly texture work at times, and I think trying to force people to think of Astrobot, which is a PS5 game, when you have to play this on the Nintendo Switch isn't fair. But the game itself is really, really solid. There's traditional 3D platforming at play here, absolutely, but you also get some stuff where there's actually like rhythm-based gameplay and some magnet effects that you have to control and kind of work your way through. It's really, really neat, and lots of unlockables. You can't go wrong with that. It also tosses in drop-in and drop-out multiplayer, which is pretty awesome. One of the things I also really like about this is it gives you all 4 pieces of DLC for the title just off the bat. You don't need to buy any kind of crazy collector's edition. The standard edition is going to get you everything you need. This is normally $19.99, but right now it's on sale for $11.99. I don't know why I sat on Cult of the Lamb as long as I did, but I am ashamed that I did. Now, I think actually when it first launched, there were some performance issues that I heard about for the game, so I kind of punted it down the road a little bit because I didn't want to deal with that, and God, that was stupid. I should have bought this a lot sooner because, oh my God, this game is so much fun. So you play as a lamb that is led to slaughter, that is sacrificed to the great old ones, And after you die, you are resurrected with the crown of the Great Old One that you were trying to be slaughtered to seal away forever. It's just a thing. Just deal with it. And the game is really clever because the core gameplay is incredibly diverse. You have I believe it's a roguelike of different dungeons that you have to go through, and you hack and slash your way through and collect different tarot cards and different weapons and defeat the enemies and things like that and rescue followers. And then you have the crafting, construction, and resource management aspect of things where you need to bring your followers back to your cult hideout and, build different things to make your cult run efficiently. It's a very creative and very intriguing game. I didn't know what to think about this when I first jumped into it, and I am having a ton of fun with it. And with the brand new Unholy Alliance update that they just did, they've added 2-player gameplay, which is amazing. I'm stoked for this one, and I'm so happy it is as much fun as I thought it was going to be. Cult of the Lamb is a $24.99 game, and if you're looking to start your own religion, this is the one to go with. One of the things that I know is true about Spelunky is that no one is good at Spelunky. It's legitimately one of the most challenging games I've ever played, and the sequel somehow increases that challenge because it is a significantly more dense game than the first one, because the first one you could kind of catch a breather here and there, but in the second one there are so many more traps, so many more enemies, so many more just different aspects of the levels that you have to manage and work with and work around and deal with, that it just ups the challenge and ups the intensity of the game as you're playing, and I love it. I normally don't love games like this, but you make it a roguelike, which I already enjoy, and you put a really nice spin on it of creative level designs, fun characters, interesting aspects of the levels as you're playing, and I'm all in. I really like this one as well because it has both 4-player local and online co-op, so you're actually able to play with friends, and I think that's really awesome. Spelunky 2 is $19.99. It's a great game. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't done so. I will tell you right now, Power Wash Simulator is not a game for everyone, and I won't lie to you, I scoffed at this game's existence for a long time. How could this game be fun? And instead what I got is legitimately one of the most relaxing, focus-inducing, just zen-like experiences I've ever had in a video game. This is seriously one of the most just chill, get your mind right games I've ever played. You have a power washer. You have different missions. You have to clean things. There's your game. That's the entire game. It is magnificent because you can be creative as you do it, right? You don't have to just go in a grid and clean things as you go. You can decide to do things one at a time. You can draw patterns with your nozzles. You can buy different things to make your nozzles more superior. It's fantastic. If it's not for you, just ignore this entirely. Just skip over this video and don't worry about it. But if you're looking for something that you can just kind of turn your head off and enjoy and just kind of lose yourself in a game for a little while, Power Wash Simulator is the one. It's $24.99. There's a ton of DLC for this game, and there's a demo, so check it out. Oh man, I was not prepared for Spiritfarer. I don't know really what I expected for it, but it was a game where I knew the concept. You were a character that was basically Chiron from Greek mythology. You were ferrying souls to the underworld. And I didn't expect it to be that kind of one-to-one, because right at the start of the game, you meet Chiron and you're replacing him. And you play as Stella, who is the ferryman for the dead now. And the game is emotional and deep and just sincere, and it's the kind of game that I really think is important. And it's one of those types of games where I play it and I feel kind of drained a little bit at the end of it, just because there's so much stuff that goes into it. I'm showing you stuff at the start here, but the story gets significantly deeper and significantly more impactful as you go, and you learn about the characters that you're helping move from one spot to another. It's a beautiful game. It's absolutely beautiful. It's normally $29.99, but right now through February 10th here in the States, it's on sale for $4.49. Please pick this one up. You won't regret it. Folks that have been doing the eShop Hidden Gems videos with me for a while will remember that I referenced a game called Rain on Your Parade a couple of years ago, which was amazing. And this is the follow-up to that called Just Crow Things. And if you have ever wanted to be one of the world's most intelligent birds, this is the game for you. So this doesn't stray too far from what we experienced with Rain on Your Parade. You play as a crow, and you go into various different levels, and you have objectives that you need to complete in each one. And the objectives are not like, help your friends. I mean, they are help your friends, but the help your friends aspect is cause chaos and enjoy the view. It's fantastic. And that chaos can be anything from pop a bunch of balloons, crap on a bunch of cars, steal things and bring them back to me. It's a deliciously evil game. It's very akin to Rain on Your Parade. It's very akin to things like Untitled Goose Game. It's just irreverent, silly, fun, and wonderful. You get to dress your crow up in different hats, like my guy's wearing a Link hat, which I think is great. It's just super fun. I really hope we get a physical of this one day because I think it's the type of game that deserves a physical release. Just Crow Things is a $19.99 game. It's well worth the purchase price. Man, I tell you what, for a series that I do not care about as far as its core gameplay experience goes, I love the League of Legends Stories games. And that is absolutely true for Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. This is a fantastic single-player action 3D platformer that is just, well, it's wholesome, it's heartwarming, it's great. It really is. You play as Nunu, and you have your friend Willemp, who is the last Yeti in the world of League of Legends, and you guys are united trying to solve a mystery to find out what happened to Nunu's mother. And it's a wonderful 3D action adventure where you're going through and you get to just explore this massive frozen world and have snowball fights with your buddy, the Yeti. It is a beautiful game, and it does get a little bit more complex. There are, beyond just the things I'm showing here. I don't like to show things beyond the first chapter just to avoid spoiling anything, but the game is just a marvelous, exciting, fun, and wonderful title that I have had so much fun with, and I've just really fallen for these characters and for this world. I really wish I enjoyed the game that it's based on, but you know what? I'll take these kind of side stories and these explorations into what makes these characters great. It's kind of a boy and his dog story, and really, you can't go wrong with that. It's a tale as old as time, and it's just fantastic. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, is $29.99. Had my eye on Nuclear Blaze for a while. My friend GameCube Galaxy actually did a video on it a couple of years ago, I want to say. And it was one that I thought was really intriguing because the look of it is stunning. Like, from a pixel art perspective, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. And that was what hooked me enough because I was really intrigued by the look. But getting into game and actually picking it up and playing it, I'm telling you that the value for this game is incredible because it is so incredibly good and the cost on it is so ridiculously low. You play as a firefighter. There is a nuclear meltdown, and you'll find that out eventually. There's basically a huge fire that happens. Your fire department gets called in, and you go in to see if you can find survivors and save the day. And as you're going through this giant compound, you end up discovering that this is a reactor. You find out that there is experiments being run. You have to save cats because, you're a fireman. And it's just incredibly solid. You have to put out the fires with water. There's a bunch of different water stations where you're able to refill your tank as you go. And you eventually pick up new skills and new abilities as you play. It's a wonderful platformer. It's properly difficult at times, but the game is absolutely spectacular. It's $9.99. I am absolutely blown away that this game is as cheap as it is because this, to me, is like a $30 title. It's absolutely fantastic. Cannot recommend this one enough.
There you have it, my friends. 10 games on the Nintendo Switch eShop that I think every collection should have. Now, some of these do have physical releases. If you are a physical collector, be sure to look into that, see if there are any that you want to add to your physical collection. But let me know in the comments down below what are your favorite games that I featured this month. Let me know as well if there are any Switch eShop hidden gems that you think I should be checking out, and I'll be happy to feature them in a future video. If you enjoyed this video, I've got a whole playlist. I've been doing this series for 5 years. Be sure to click the link on screen right now. Please click like, please click subscribe if you're new here. Until next time, I've been Jay. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.